Yeah, so last time what we covered was your
block diagram.
this one is done, right? So I can say in this
Input
we can make it green.
yeah.
That's over. Then algorithms and flowchart not yet, but beginning with C++ tokens and expression, operators and expressions. These things are kind of done for you. In control structure we covered if else.
Switch statement.
Switch is also covered. Looping constructs, break continue statements. This till 6th. Okay, today we are going to talk about 7th, and we also completed that day 11, right? So we did opening, reading, writing and appending. So this is also done. So we'll be using the syllabus as
Yeah.
a measure of how you are doing, where you are right now. So today our goal is to do this portion, one-dimensional arrays. Unit 7th we are doing. Okay. Now, till now we have seen programs where we have been taking some number of variables and we were playing around with that, right? So I'll tell you about my first program that my professor gave me in college. This is class. Okay, unit 7 we can put. It's your unit 7, right? So I'm going to create this project on desktop. Say desktop and say okay, next, finish, we are done. So in unit 7 we got this program. Let me remove this line. So my professor said, okay, write a program that reads 10 integers from the user and it should print them. After reading, it should print them in one go. First do the reading part, read 10 integers, print 10 integers. So this is the program we need to write. So how will we write this program?
CA. Well, first you have to ask. So CA.
First we will declare 10 variables,
Oh.
right?
X, I, J, or A, B, C, D, F, E.
A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8, A9 and
Later.
A10. These are 10 variables. Now we have to read 10 variables. Let's say for the time being we skip asking user enter the first number, enter the second number.
Then CN.
C in A1,
A1, A2, A3.
A2, A3,
All the way to A10.
A4, all the way up to A10.
Yeah.
We'll have to write all that. Okay, let's finally write it. A5, A6, A7, A8, A9, A10. So we have read these 10 numbers. Now we have to print them back. So what will we do?
Print them
See
back
out,
means?
show, display on the screen.
Oh.
Print is display to the user. So see out, A1
All the way to A10.
and space also. A2, A3. It's boring, right? Writing this kind of program
Yeah. It's long.
because it is long. So, but we still need to write this in order to understand the reason of arrays. This will set the context why arrays are required. A7, then space, A8, and chances of making mistakes are more here, right? That we may miss one less than symbol, one greater than symbol,
Or semicolon.
or semicolon, or space, A10. Finally we are done. So now if we have written this program, if we compile this program, there is no compilation error, we run it. Now it is asking for numbers from us.
10.
So 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. I am just giving random numbers. So after 10 numbers are added, it prints the 10 numbers. So this is what problem statement given to me was in my college. My first program was this. So to read 10 numbers from the user and display them back or print them back onto the screen. Now when I wrote this program, my professor looked at it and he said, okay, now make this program for 20.
Okay.
So what do I need to do?
I don't know. Or you can,
A11, A12,
yeah.
like that. So
Or you can just put it from 1 to 28.
1 to 20 how?
Nothing.
So we have to declare
Yeah,
variables.
you have to declare because it says you have to enter.
Yeah.
So it's not in order.
Yeah. So to him I said I will declare 10 more as you are saying.
Yeah.
And then we will read 20 variables from the user. We'll print 20 back.
Okay.
So what he said, if we need lot of variables of same data type, we don't need to take this approach, because this is a hard way of doing things. So he said there is a better way of doing the same. That is where he told the benefit of arrays. So let me change this. This is the hard way. So I change the function name. Now we are talking about int main return 0. Same program we are writing again by in main. So what he said, how many variables you need?
10.
10. He said declare like int a10.
Okay.
It is saying a is a collection or a is an array of 10 elements,
Okay, of 10 numbers.
of 10 numbers. Each of them is an integer. So first line is saying this is the data type, this is the array name, this is how many elements are there in the array. We have done that. Now array elements can be accessed using A0 is our first element. So array always starts from 0 index.
Okay.
If there are 10 elements, it will start with A0,
Then
A1
A9.
up to A9 it will go, right? So A0 is the way to get the first element. So ideally we can do C in A0 to read the first element,
Yeah.
to take the first input and put in the A0. Same way to read the second input we'll do A1. Same way A2, A3. Now he said, if you really notice, in this line only this index is changing.
Yeah.
So in past you have done programs where using for loop you can print number 0 to 9.
Yeah.
So he said, why not use the I here and declare I, write a loop for I0, I less than 10, I plus plus. That way we are going from 0 to 9 only. Can you explain what this line is doing?
Yeah. It's saying that you have to print from 1 to 9. It's just going in order instead of typing
Yeah.
the whole thing.
I is going from 0 to 9,
Yeah.
and every time we read using cin, we put in a of I. First time I will be 0, second I will be 1, third I will 2, 3, like that we will be reading 10 numbers here. After the reading is done, we have to print them back. Printing also we can do the same way. For I0, I less than 10, I plus plus. And how do we print it back? Cout
A
of
I.
I, and we can also give a space here after this. So this space will ensure the next number when it comes and prints, that is after the space. Now this loop also run 10 times.
Yeah.
I said this, look at this way. If we have written the program this way, this is more elegant and this is more suitable in wherever we need more variables. Clear?
Yeah.
So now once this is done, if we have to extend this program to hold 20 variables, what all do we need to change?
Value of I.
Just change
Value of I.
here, just change it, max is 20, change here 20, change here 20. A lot improvement, right? If we wanted to take 100, this program will scale up. So this is the real benefit of array. So where arrays will be used? If we need a lot of variables of same data type, they all should be either ints, they all should be either float, because in array we can store elements of same type. Clear?
Yeah.
So here a is array because we have declared int a with subscript of size 20. Clear? So now coming back to our formal introduction to array. So array, you got it, what it is. So what is array? How will you define the array?
Okay. It's a method
No,
which you can use.
it's not a method.
Like it's a variable.
Yes, we can say.
It's a variable which is useful in making the program much simpler.
Okay. So that is the benefit of array, not what is array. So we can say array is collection of elements of same data type. So what is array?
It's a collection of the elements of the same data type.
Yeah. So that way if you see, A is collection of 20 elements of type int. Can you say that? So definition is also a lot simpler. So A is a variable which can store collection of elements. Sometimes some books will define array is a homogeneous collection of items. Now what is homogeneous? That
Same.
means same type of items. So that is more bookish kind of definition of array. But point is clear to you, right? So now if we come here, see how do we declare an array? We first write the type. In our case we wrote int. Then we write the array name. This is anything we can give, a or arr. This is like a variable name. And then we give the array size. So
Number.
this any number. How many elements are there in this array? So this is the way to
Use array.
declare array. Right now we have declared. Similar to we declare variables. Now give me the examples. You have to declare arrays. You have to declare array to store 30 persons. How will you declare that?
Int a.
Rather than a, it's better to write age, since we know it's representing age.
Then age and then brackets and inside 30.
30. So that will represent an array of 30 people's age. How will you declare this array?
Int score.
This is array of grades of 20 students, and grades of students will be A, B, C, single character.
Okay, like that. That is int.
No, this is a character array now. We are storing grades, right? A, B, C, D we will store. So the data type of that will be char.
Char grades.
Yeah,
And then 20.
perfect. If we need an array to store percentage marks of 5 student,
Float
yeah, float, percentages
and 5.
and 5, correct? So examples of using arrays with different data types. Based on what program we are writing, we'll pick the data type, we'll write the array name, we'll give the size accordingly. Clear? And this we have already seen a practical example of this. And that example was this. This is the declaration. Now accessing the elements. If we want to access the element or read the element or see the element one by one, what is the way? They can be accessed by array name and an index. Index means the position of that. Right now we said array is collection of elements. So if in array there are 20 elements, how do you access third element?
By choosing third one.
Third one.
Yeah.
So third one will be at second index because array index start from 0. First one will be at 0 index. Second will be at 1 index.
So it will be
1 less than the
int A2.
A2, correct.
If we use it.
Not int, just say A2. A2 is the third element of the array. Int is already declared, it's a type. And indices vary from 0 to array size minus 1. Whatever is the size of array at the time of declaration, that minus 1. So, question for you. Now scores is an array. How do we access the first element of scores array?
How do you access the
First element of scores array. So here in this line you can see
Scores array?
scores. These are scores of a student in different subjects. Marks of the student we can say.
how do you access the first, last and middle?
So this is, what is this line saying?
Double
Score is an array of type double and it has 9 elements.
What is double?
Double is data type similar to float. Okay, sorry, I should have made it float only. Now clear? So we are talking about an array here. How many elements are there in the array? 9. So I'm saying, how will you access the first element?
0.
Scores 0. Scores in the bracket 0. Last element will be
Score 8.
scores of 8. Middle element
Score 4.2. 4.5.
Total 9 elements.
3. Yeah.
Which one will be the middle?
4th.
4th or 5th?
No, 5th but 4th.
Okay. Yeah, actually it will be 5th element, but
Yeah,
when we access, it will
4.
be index will be 4.
Yeah,
So
score 4.
scores of 4. Perfect. Right? So it is scores of 4. That is also clear. Now, with this we have covered declaring the array. Now we are talking about the theoretical part of array. You have seen them practically. Now we are talking about theory of that. Now if we need to initialize array. Initialize means we are putting values in different elements. How do we do that? By writing a for loop. We can, in every element index we can put a value, right? So here a should be small. So
Yeah, instead of you're putting all of them in a big line.
yeah, instead of putting all of them in big line, you can write a loop. In loop, here I am simply assigning I to ai.
Yeah.
Or if we are reading from the user, we'll do scene. Clear? So this is the way to initialize array. There is another way of initializing array. If we know what values we want to put in the array, rather than asking from the user, then we can initialize in the line of declaration.
Wait, one question. So I is 10 here, right?
No, in loop, value of I will be changing. First I will be 0. 0 less than 10.
And then it'll go up.
It will go to 9. So value of I is changing from 0 to 9. Okay, here when I initialize, I should make it 5 here. Next one is an array of 5 elements. Yeah, so this is clear what we are doing. Here this loop is initializing each array element with their position. See, a0 will have 0 value, a1 will have 1 value, a2 will have 2. Clear? This is another way of initializing arrays. So if we write int array 5 and we put array elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this array has at 0th index the element is 1. If we put a0 in cout,
Yeah.
it will print 1. If a1 we put, it will print 2. a2, 3. So this is another way of putting values in the array. In one line, if we want to put the values, then we have to use this syntax. We have to put the curly braces and then we put these values. Any questions?
No.
There is another way of initializing array, that is, if we are initializing the values in the beginning, we can skip mentioning this size here. We can make it this way, int arr, and this syntax is applicable only when we are on the right side we are putting values. We can't skip it on the first line. If we declare array like this, as we have done in line number 1, we can't skip its size, right? So I'll show you this with an example. Coming back to our code, if I declare another array b and I don't specify the size, if I put it this way, if I try to compile my code, it will give an error here. That error is size of b is not known. That means we can't skip the size of an array at the time of declaration. But if we are initializing the elements of this array, if you are putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now compiler can figure out automatically you are putting 5 values, that means size is 5. So the goal is compiler should know how many elements this array is going to have. So now if I compile it, you will see it will compile successfully because we have put the values. It is giving a warning that b is not used. We have put the value in b, but we are not using. Warning is fine, we can ignore. Okay? So this is also clear. How do we initialize array? How do we put elements in the array? So now there is a program. Write a program that prints array element in tabular form with 2 columns. And the 2 columns are index and value.
So it's a file thing?
No. Yeah, first let's try to understand what the problem is saying. This problem is saying that we have to write a program that prints array elements in tabular form.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
That means
So basically, if array has these elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, should come 0 space 1. At 0 index, element is 1. 1 index, element is 2.
okay.
That way, it should come in a tabular form. So if we have to write this program, so that is next program. This was array introduction, right? This program, what we did, we saw like how do we convert this kind of program into a better form. Now we are talking about printing array in tabular form. So that is the next program that we are doing. So we declare array A. In that array we put elements by initializing it here itself. So tell me some random elements that we should put. 30, 10, 20, 78, anything. Okay, this much is fine. We have 5 elements. Let's put n is equal to 5, so that rather than using 5 every time, we use n. Now we have to print this array in tabular form. So what is the output we expect? Output we expect is at 0 index there should be 30. This is the output. 1 index there is 44. This table we want to come as output. Now how will we get this table? By writing a loop, because we access array using loops. So we declare int I for I0, I less than, how many elements are there in the array? 5. 5 we have taken in n, so let's use n here. If we use n, the benefit is tomorrow if we increase the number of elements here, I can just change the n here and we can go around it. So in this, I want to print 2 numbers in every line.
Yeah.
So first number is
0.
0, 1, 2.
Yeah.
So out of this, what should I print?
5.
No, here, what is the first number to print?
0.
Which variable should I print? We are inside a loop. If I put 0, every time it will print 0.
1.
I. If I put I,
Okay, because it's changing.
it's changing. Every time, in every line we want a different value, right? So I. Then we should have a space and then array element. The first array element, second array element, it's changing again. So what should I write here?
30.
No. Should-
N.
N will be 5 always. N will be always 5. Do we want that?
A. We want A.
A? A is the name of the array, not the element of the array. How do we access elements of array?
Okay. The name and then brackets and then
Yeah.
that inside.
In bracket, what should I give?
30. Because the
How
first
can I
element.
give 30?
It's the first element.
If we say 30, that means we are accessing 31st element in the array.
Okay, then 0. Because it's 1. First element.
First element will be 0, then it will be 1. Even this is changing in the loop, right?
So I.
I.
I2. Oh, okay.
Why I2?
Same.
So now if we run this loop, Cout will first print 0 and A0.
Yeah.
1 and value of A1. This is the one, right? Why are you saying n? We are jumping to every possible answer.
I'm very confused with this. Sir.
Because I said we want to
No.
print this array, right?
How do you put the headings?
Headings?
Yeah.
Okay, that also we'll talk about. Good question.
Because you have to put value and then the
So,
input output.
yeah, we'll come to 78. This is the output we want, and we also want headings, right? So the headings should be, let's say for short form I use ID and I use value. Or what did I put in the problem statement? Index and value, right? So first we put index and then we put value. This is the heading we want and then the table we want, right? So now heading also we can put using Cout, but if we put that as part of loop,
Okay, no, if you press loop, then
then it will be repeated every time.
Every line.
So what we should do, we should put it just above the loop.
And then E and A.
Cout index space value. Now what will happen first? This line will be
Line
printed.
done first time. No, it will only print on the first line.
Correct. So now we compile this code and we run this code. You see, index and value is coming. But right now this table is not properly aligned. So if we want to align table, so 5 spaces, because index takes 5. So one option is we give 5 spaces here, 6 spaces, 5 for index. Okay, let's do with this much and see does it get aligned properly. Okay,
Almost.
2 more,
Yeah.
or 3.
Three.
So we got this answer, right? So that completes this program.
Mm-hmm.
You understood it? So this was printing in tabular form. First the index of the element, second the value of the element. Now next program is write a program that prints array elements in reverse order. Reverse order means
I minus minus.
yeah. So if this is the array,
For loop.
yeah. So this was print array tabular. That is our program.
Yeah.
Next we want int main return 0.
Wait, it said print,
Array elements in reverse order.
so that means
So I'm taking the same array. I'll talk about what the output we expect.
okay.
If
So
this is the array.
So if there's 5 numbers, you have to print for first A4, A3,
Yeah.
like that.
Correct. So first number should be 78,
Yeah.
which is A4. Then 20, then 10, then 44,
30.
30. This is the output we want.
Yeah.
And we will use loops because array can be accessed using
Yeah.
loop. So what we should do? For
I
we will declare int I first. For I, what should be the first value of I?
0.
No, 0 will mean we are
Okay,
starting
okay,
from the beginning. Last
4.
index
4.
4. So we have array size in n.
Yeah.
So rather than directing with 4, we take n minus 1, which is same as 5 minus 1. Because n is the size of array, last element will be at n minus 1. Then condition,
Then I is less than.
if less than,
Greater.
first we will print the last index, then we will decrement the
I.
I minus minus will happen, right?
Yeah.
Till what time should we go? While I is from 4, then 3, then 2, then 1, then 0.
Yeah,
After 0
so-
it will become minus 1. Should we go run for minus 1?
No, only until 0.
So only till I is greater than equal to 0. If I is 4, 4 is greater than equal to 0. 3 is also greater than equal to 0. 0 is also greater than equal to 0. But after 0 it should stop. So our condition is this. After this, what should I print? See out. What is the output we expect? 78, 20, 10, 44, 30. That is the output we want. So what should I put here?
I.
If I put I, what is the initial value of I? 4. 5
4.
minus 1. What will it print?
4.
4. Do we want 4 output?
No.
So it should be
We want
AI. We want A of 4, right?
Wait, I'm getting confused about. Wait, this I and this I are same, right?
What is same?
This I and this I.
This I,
No, this A.
this A and this A is same, yeah. Same array. We want to print the elements of array. What is the confusion? Just now we talked about how do we access array elements. Here we talked about, right? Next, we access array element with array name and index. So if A is our array, here also you told first element will be scores of 0.
Yeah.
Here if it is array of 10 elements, we are accessing array of I and we are putting value in that. Here also it's the same, right? We want to print that element 78. How do we reach to 78? We use name of the array and index of the element.
The 4.
Yeah. So when I will be 4, it will print 78. Then I will decrease 3.
Okay, yeah. And they print the 4 loop, so it goes all down to 0.
Correct. So we give the space after this. and we don't give the new line because we expect the output on the same line. That is what the problem is. So now if we compile it and run it, it's printing them in reverse order. We just have to make sure our bounds check is correct. We are starting from 4 going to 0. Sometimes if we make a mistake, if we do n here, then it will run and give us some junk value at 5, because that was not part of the array and we just accidentally included that. So you have to be careful when you are using indices. Okay? Because code will compile and it will run, but it will produce the wrong result. This is, any doubts on this problem? Only thing to remember is you got confused here, right?
Yeah.
We are accessing element because we have to print that element. If we print I, it will print the value of I. If we print a of I, it will print that element.
Yeah.
Done? So this was the second problem, which is printing the array in reverse order. Done? Let's move on to the next topic. There are a few more programs I have written for you to practice. So I will code them also. I'll show you. But at home you have to practice them without seeing the solution. And that will be the end of the arrays. So what is this saying? Write a program by adding the following array into it. So array is given to us already. Initialized array. So we'll take this array. Then he's saying take a number from the user as input. Ask user for a number using C. And print found or not found by writing code to search for number in the array. So the program is saying this is an array that will be part of your program. So what we will do, let's go step by step. We write our program int main return 0. We declare array here. Int a, what were the elements there? 20, 30, 40, 20 to 80. Yeah. 60 is missing. 20, 30, 40, 50, 70 and 80. Ideally these numbers also we could have taken from user as input. So that I am skipping because that we covered in the first program when we initialize array elements by asking from the user. Now we have this array. He's saying ask user, our program when it runs, here I am printing how the program will run. It says enter a number to search. This is what we will ask user.
Yeah.
User will give us some number. Based on the number we will print found or not found. Either we will print found or not found. If user gives us a number 60, what will be the output? Not found. If he gives us 40, found. That is the program we want to write using this array. Clear? So first thing is we need a number from the user. We should print this message. C?
In.
No. C out. C out, and we will say enter in double quotes, enter a num to search. Semicolon.
And C in N.
Amazing.
And then you have to put
C in N.
Yeah, in 10.
And we have to declare also. Great. So we got the number now. Now what we have to do? We have to search for this number in the array. So N should be compared with every element in the array. So
Okay, wait.
think about it. Then so we got the number. Now this N should be compared with 20, then N should be compared with 30, then N should be compared with 40. If it matches 40 is something that we were searching, then it is found already, right? Should we go till 80? No, we are done. So we should break the loop at that point wherever the match happens. So let's take another variable, int found is 0. Initially we put found 0. It is indicating we did not find it. Whenever we find the number, we will make found 1 and we will come out of the loop. So how do we write the loop? We need an I also for loop, int I. So see what we are doing in the loop is for I 0, I less than, how many elements are there in the array? 6.
Six.
So rather than putting 6 there, I am putting 6 in n, and n we will use. What is the reason I am using n?
So 6 numbers.
Because
And
later on, if I add
second
7, I will change n,
Yeah.
and it will work. And we do I++. This way we are going over every array element one by one. Now what we should do with every array element, we should check if n equals, what should we write here?
If n equals one number.
How do I compare with the array numbers?
Okay.
What should I write? I?
Yeah. No. A brackets I.
Amazing, yes. So we are comparing n with the ai.
Yeah.
So first it will compare with a0, then 1,
And then
if this matches, what should we do?
break.
Break. And we should also make found 1.
Yeah.
Found is something that we are using to know whether it was found or not.
But what is found?
Found is a variable we have taken. In the
Okay,
end,
got it. Yeah.
in the end we will check. If found is 1, we will print found. If it is 0, we will print not
Not
found.
found.
So that's why we took another variable. So found is 1, and we do a break. Break means we break out of the loop. If this condition matches, we go inside and we break. If it does not match, loop will continue.
So here you have to put else not found. I mean else here not found. Right?
Now here I cannot put. I'll tell you the reason if we put here. Here if we put else, let's say we are searching for 40. So not n, sorry, this n is the number that user has given, right? Okay, this is not the size, my mistake. I used this as array size, so let me write 6 here directly. Because n is the number that user is giving us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no problem, here I'll have code. Yeah, so what I was saying is, if you are searching for 40, n will have value 40. You compare 40 with 20, do they match?
No.
If it does not match here, if condition is false, where will it go?
Okay, now
It will go to end. So we don't want to print not found here, because we have not compared with everything.
So only if all the numbers don't match, then it should be.
Correct. So that's why in this loop we are just marking if the number is found or not. When we come out of the loop, what we do? If found is 0, then what we have to print?
Not found. So okay, see here not found.
Right, because we have gone over every element one by one
Yeah.
in the loop, and found is still not 1, so it is not found. Here we can put else safely. Else, if found is not 0, that means found is 1, and we found the number. Now it is clear. We compile the code, we run the code, enter number to search. We'll try both valid case and invalid case. So what should we search first?
10.
10. What should it say?
Not found.
What is it saying?
Not found.
Now we run it again. What should we give?
70.
70. It says found. Other interesting cases are, we should always check the first element and last element also, because sometimes in loop, when we put less than equal to, greater than equal to, some problems may happen. So we should also ensure for 20 it is working fine, that's the first element, and for 80 also it should work fine. So all the
So if
cases.
it's not working, then how do you fix it?
Then we see in the program where we did the mistake. So if I say, let's say less than 6, I have put less than 3. That is a mistake. By mistake I did that. Now if I try to search for 80,
Okay.
it is not going till 80, it will say not found. So our output is wrong. So how do we find that? So we start thinking, okay, we come here, we took a number from user, and that number user gave us 80. 80. I is changing from 0, 0 is less than 3, and it is coming inside. It is comparing 0, 1, 2. But after 3 it is not comparing. So this is where the mistake is. That's how we find our mistakes. So we correct it here. Array size is 6, so it should be 6. Now if we change our program to add one more value, 90, and if we forget to change here, now array has 7 elements, again for 90 it will be not found. So whenever we change that, we have to make change here. And that's the reason I was saying we will use as array size as a variable, so that it is together here. Whenever we are adding element here, we are updating as also.
Okay.
So that way both the changes are to be done in these two lines. Clear?
Yep.
So this is done. Now the next program says, it's a different program. The first one was to find an element. So in this array, find element was the program. Next program, what it is asking us to do, before that let's write our main. So in next program it is saying, write a program by adding following array into it. So now he has given an array 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. This is the array given to us. Write code that prints out count of odd and even numbers.
So if it's
Output expected is odd colon 3, even colon 3.
okay, so
Because in this array 3 even 3 odd.
that means divide by 2.
Yes.
Divide by 2.
What will you divide by 2? Every element of the array.
Yeah.
That means there should be a loop first to
And-
go over.
And if the remainder is 0, then it's even. If the remainder is 1,
It is odd.
yeah.
So how will we remember how many evens, how many odds we have found till now? So here you are saying we go over the array elements one by one. I0, I less than n, I plus plus, right? This loop will help us go over the array elements.
Yeah.
So you are saying if AI modulo 2
Yeah.
is 0, that means this is an even number. Else it's an odd number.
Yeah.
But how do we remember the count? Because we have to count even and odd numbers. So what should we
Okay.
do inside the if? We should take two more variables. Even 0, odd 0. These variables will count.
I understand even or odd, but why do you put equal to 0?
If we don't put equal to 0, by default what value will they
Or
have?
give some junk number.
Junk value, and we don't want to add to that. Counting we always start from 0. Now if the first number is even, what should we increment?
1. I mean even should be 1.
Even plus plus.
Yeah.
If it is odd,
Odd plus plus.
so now by the time we come out of the loop, even and odd
So we
variable.
start from 0 and then count.
Yes. So that's the reason of initializing them with 0. Now once we are out of the loop, we want to print this odd how many, even how many. So how should we print this value?
See out.
Cout.
Brackets. I
No, first we have to print odd colon.
Space.
Okay, in this space, then
Even.
we are printing odd here. What is the value? What is the count of odd numbers? How many odd numbers we found? Where is that count in odd variable?
Wait, so we're taking odd as a variable itself?
Yeah, to count the values. How many odd values are there? In this, how many odd values are there in this array?
6. No.
Odd.
2, 3, 3, 3.
3, right?
Yeah.
So in output we want to print odd are 3, even are also 3.
Okay, so if you took like odd is equal to b as a variable, then we put odd and then space b.
So here if I change this 3 to let's say 8, now how many odd are there?
2.
So answer should be odd colon 2,
Yeah.
and next line even colon 4. That is what we expect. In this example, this is the answer. So in next line we should print even.
Yep.
So how do we put next line?
ENDL.
ENDL here. After odd, go to the next line.
CL even. The
Colon,
colon
space, then
even.
even. Here we don't need to give new line because after that there is nothing. So now if we run this program, it is printing odd 2, even 4. Now even if our array has more elements, let's say we add more elements here, 9, 11, 23,
one word.
9 elements now, right? Increase the elements. Our loop will still work because we are going over every element. We are checking if it is even, we increment even, otherwise odd. Now if we run it, how many odd? 5. How many even? 4. Correct?
Wait, one question. Modulo is
Remainder.
what is okay? Yeah, got it. I was
Clear?
thinking of divide. That's slash, right?
That is slash. That will give you the quotient. Now let's say same program we want to make it more interactive. So this initialization we are doing here itself, right? Rather than initializing ourselves, we ask the user.
Okay.
So now this program, I'm twisting this a bit. We will ask user how many elements he wants to store.
Okay.
So first message to user will be cout how many elements you have got, right?
Yep.
So he will give us a number. That number we will put in n. So we are asking user for how many numbers he want to give us.
Yeah.
After that we declare an array of that size, int a n. Now because he wants to give us n numbers, we declare here. So I am commenting out the previous code because here we were writing the numbers in the program. Now we will ask the user give us the numbers, right? So now after we do this, so we ask user how many elements. Now our array will not be fixed size, it will be given by the user.
Yeah.
So we took n from him and then we declared the array of size n. After doing so, we will ask user to enter 10 numbers.
Yeah.
So how will we do that? We have got I, so here we are reading the values also from user. So we will say for I 0, I less than n, I plus plus. And we will tell user cout enter a of I. This will print a nice message for user that we are saying enter A0, enter A1, enter A2.
Yeah, so enter the number of elements.
Yeah. No, number of elements he has already given us. Now each element in the array he is giving us. So here we will read AI.
Yeah.
Now rest of the logic will remain the same. We will count even and odd. Now if we compile the code,
Yeah, you have to enter in.
okay, n is not declared because I commented that. So let's bring n back. So now if we run the program, first thing it will say is how many elements you have got.
Yeah.
That means n he is asking. So how many elements should we say?
6.
6. Okay. Now he says enter A0 because in place of 0 we are printing I there.
Okay.
So
So
tell me the first element you want.
17.
17. Then
19.
19.
13.
13.
3.
3.
40.
Only 5 are done. One more.
56.
Now what should it print? How many odd? How many even?
4 odd, 2 even.
Odd for even 2. So our program is now completely interactive. User will tell how many elements he wants to give. He will give the array elements and then it will run. Now if user would have given 10, our first loop would have run 10 times to read 10 values from him. This is how you will get the programs in your lab exam in college. So they will give you this kind of statement and then they will say write the program and show it to us, a working program. Got it? Then you should ask user for the input, show him the output. That winds up our arrays. Clear? Any questions? No questions. It's a very simple concept. Just one variable, give the size of that at the time of declaration.
Yeah.
After that you access the array elements starting with 0 index going till n minus 1, size of array minus 1. So all these programs that are given here, these are kind of I designed exercises for you. These were exercises. This is an exercise. How do we access first last element, which are just one line answers. And from this point onwards, write a program means you have to write a program. So at home I expect you to write this program, second program, third, fourth. 4 programs, and all 4 I showed you how to do.
Yeah.
So this will be unfair if I give you the same programs to write, right? You can look at the video and you can do them. So I should give you one more assignment which is completely new. So let's add one more assignment here and say write a program that asks user for array size, then gets the elements one by one and stores in array using for loop. We did that just now, right? Then after that, what you will have to do, print the sum of all elements back to user. Problem statement is clear?
Yep.
So flow will be, we will ask user enter n. So I am giving you an example here. So if user enters 3, you will say
and
enter
3 numbers.
A0.
Yeah.
So he will, let's say he will give here some number. So let's say he gives 32.
Yeah.
Then you will ask enter A1. Then he will give some other number.
And then last number A2.
Hmm?
He has to give one
Enter
more number.
A2.
10.
Then he gives 10.
Yeah.
Now after getting all these numbers, you will say sum column.
is equal to
What is the sum?
A bracket 0 plus, right?
Tell me the answer. You will print is 64.
No, I thought you have to put int sum first, right?
No, that will be in the program.
Yeah.
This is the output. How user will see
Oh,
it.
okay, output is here.
This I am printing this output. This is
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
program I am writing.
Okay.
So this is a sample execution. If you run the program, this is what it should do. Even current program, if you do the sample execution, see, this is what it's saying. It's asking for n. So we say 3. Then it says A0. So this is what I was printing there. What do we expect? And ultimately we print even or odd. Here you don't have to print even or odd. Here you have to calculate the sum and print that sum.
Yeah.
Got it? So this is a program that is complete exercise for you. So tomorrow when you come, all these programs I want to see on your laptop, written by you. This also solve. So tomorrow you have to bring the solution to these problems. These theoretical questions are not required, but 1, 2 programs here, 2 here, and 1 exercise. 5 programs tomorrow you will bring. Okay?